Hi guys, Josh from Sportitude here today to talk to you about a new shoe, and the new shoe is the Mizuno Wave Inspire 15. So it's going to be on the market roughly towards the end of 2018, but it's going to be one of their premium shoes for the whole of 2019. So there's a bit to talk about this shoe. They haven't gone back and recreated the wheel by any means, but yeah, some cool stuff I'd like to talk about. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Alright guys, so with all my shoe reviews, I like to talk about what foot type should be running inside this specific shoe through here. So the Mizuno Wave Inspire 15 is designed for that slight overpronator. So therefore we're talking about a foot that does have a slightly collapsed arch through that what we call braking phase or loading phase. So foot comes down, heel strike, as you come through to mid stance, the arches do flatten out just a little bit through there. And as you look at the front angle, heel strike and mid stance, arches flatten out and roll in over that arch through here. So technically, the engineering in this shoe is designed for a heel striker. There's a lot going on the back. However, myself being a midfoot runner, I enjoy the feel of this shoe just as much as some of the other stability ranges on the market as well. With all my shoe reviews, I like to start from the ground and work my way up. So first things first, let's talk all things outsole. So you can see with the Mizuno Wave Inspire 15, we've got the X10 sort of carbon rubber outsole on the back side of this heel through here, obviously designed for a heel striker, which provides a nice durable rubber on that first point of contact with the ground for the heel striker. As you come through to the forefoot, they have a rubber called Smooth Ride. So essentially that is not quite as strong and as aggressive as the X10. However, it's still nice and stable and provides a little bit of you could say rigidity support for a midfoot striker. And as you come through to the forefoot, I like to talk about this highlighted feature through here. So in terms of the flex grooves underneath the foot through here, so when I bend it like so, you can see right under where that first metatarsal joint or your first big toe sits, that big toe joint, you've got a little bit of rigidity through here. So I do like that for shoes that are designed for overpronators, because essentially as we come through that gait transition where we flatten out the arch and we load up that big toe, if a shoe is too flexible through the forefoot, you're just going to roll off that platform on the medial side. It's going to cause quite a bit of variability in movement, sort of variety of movement. The angle of attack you hit the ground and the angle of excursion you leave. So we do want it to be relatively stable underneath that big toe, which is what they've achieved with this model. So you've got the one flex go through the forefoot through here, and just after that mid stance or braking phase, a flex groove there to provide a bit of sort of speed in the transition, getting you ready for toe off, but nice and stable as you go through that toe off phase. Talking all things midsole, pardon me. So when we're talking about the cushioning systems, we're talking about Euphoric and Euphoric X. So, and there's nothing that's really changed here from the Mizuno Wave 14 in regards to the midsole. We've got the Euphoric X, which sits just underneath the wave plate, and the Euphoric foam, which sits on top. So Euphoric foam being a little bit more responsive than Euphoric X. And the wave plate, which has been Mizuno's point of difference for years and years. So Mizuno wave plate they use to provide a little bit of rigidity in the midsole to give it some strength and integrity, splitting the two densities of foam, so the softer foam from the firmer foam, which is great. Just provides a little bit of strength and hold as that foot comes down and you can press the shoe over the time or the life of the shoe. As you come through to the medial side through here, it is a supportive shoe. However, like other brands, they don't use dual density foam, and Mizuno's philosophy behind that is dual density foam can be a little bit aggressive on the arch, depending on how you layer it with the cushioning. It can also be a little bit too heavy. So keeping this shoe nice and light is a great feature, and also using that sort of encapsulated wave plate on that medial side, which essentially doesn't dig into the arch, but it's there and it provides enough support through that transition. So it is a cool feature. I've always liked how they've made their shoes, how they've made the support on their shoes with the medial side with the Mizuno range. As you're coming through to the upper, so you're looking at it, looks like a traditional running shoe in the sense that there's some overlays, the logo stitched in. As you come to the forefoot, there's that little synthetic cap at the front, which is double stitched, and they've got that open breathable mesh through here. So in some instances, you look at that, and it does look a little bit old school in terms of its engineering and design. However, I kind of like it because when you've got sort of the overlays and the stitching that's involved in this shoe, there's a little bit more care and love that's gone into making this shoe. What I mean by that is a few more hands that goes through, a few more machines that has to go through to actually make this construction. So it is a nice supportive upper. I will definitely hang my hat on that, and my opinion and what Mizuno are trying to achieve by keeping the foot nice and stable inside this shoe. They're doing it with the overlayers and have achieved it quite well. So you can see the logo stitched in on the lateral side and the medial side. They have attempted in the past to not stitch in the logos and just sort of almost weld mesh it on or almost like paint it on. They did that with the Wave Inspire 10 and sends shivers down people's spines when I talk about that shoe, because I hate to be critical, but that was not a good shoe. It was too light, too cheap. Look, the list goes on. It was okay, and there was a minority of runners that actually kind of liked that reduction in weight and didn't need that amount of support, but for a traditional Mizuno Wave Inspire wearer, it did not hit the mark. So the last couple of years since that Wave Inspire 10, 5 years later we're here, we've got a great shoe, and we've built sort of that customer expectations back up, and the reputation of this brand is certainly there. Cool. So what I'd like to talk about is the upper again. So just to touch on, there is a few widths in this shoe as well. For that, just hit the link in this video below and we'll give you some information on what's available in the men's and the women's range. The mesh through the forefoot is relatively light, but it's nice and breathable. So you do want that with a shoe like this. It's a shoe that's designed for someone that's going to be spending some time out the road that doesn't necessarily want a really heavy cushion shoe. So it's a mileage shoe. So that being the case, you're talking someone that's going to be potentially in it for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours running a marathon. So you do want some space there for breathability and some space there for swelling. And this shoe does have that adaptability in the upper to provide for that runner. Nice and breathable mesh tongue, which is great, provides plenty of ventilation through the foot through there. Heel counter. One thing I love about Mizuno, they have in the past 6-7 years, even with the Mizuno Wave Inspire 10, it did have a good heel counter. So nice internal stability, deep, so you get plenty of depth and security around the back of that heel. When you put a Mizuno on and you sort of feel your heel go clunk into the shoe, it feels fantastic. You know it's on, you know you've got that support in the back half through here. So I do like that feature about Mizuno, and I can't see that changing anytime soon. So, there you have it guys, the Mizuno Wave Inspire 15, a fantastic update. Again, they didn't recreate the wheel, they just tweaked it a little bit from where it was last year. So it's a great shoe. It's one to consider if you're looking for that sort of high mileage or mid to high mileage category and want a reduction in weight but keep it nice and plush as well. So there you have it guys. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. Any comments or questions on this shoe, please drop it in this video below. And until next time, happy running. We'll see you soon.